Okay. I just finished watching Aaron Hernandez Netflix series, little documentary about his life and the convictions that he was doing, man, and his whole career. Now, Aaron Hernandez played for the University of UConn. But I like how Netflix brought out the background story of him playing the University of UConn. Great tight end, and then he took his talents elsewhere to the University of Florida, where he played with Tim Tebow. And speeding forward, it talked about just a variety of things. How he grew up in a middle class household. His parents was in his life, but dad was sort of like in and out a little bit. But he was sexually abused. Now this is key here. Was on Netflix put it on here that he was sexually abused, and it kind of drove into his decisions of him murdering people or just making irrational decisions. And based on it was a Boston University study in the School of Medicine after he killed themselves in April 19, 2017. I'm gonna talk about that. How I feel about that is that they have these various proteins in their body. The CTE and like Junior Seau, yeah, Waters. You got people that really take their own lives in their own hands because they be hearing voices and then they're just making irrational decisions to the point that they can't function in the normal society. Now with this, him had a daughter and everything. He went to these nightclubs and won the Super Bowl with the New England Patriots. Had a great relationship with Robert Kraft, Bill Belichick, and what really started and become very sloppy is that it was two individuals. I believe it was at the nightclub. Excuse me. Two individuals in the nightclub, and I think it was around in June. And some dude just bumped into him, by mistake, and spilled his drink. And he was with Alexander. Alexander was a key witness in here because Alexander was his friend, and they were like riding together and whatever. And he had an eye on him, and so they was taking upon themselves. They was just doing things like, okay, well, we're gonna go in here and we're gonna follow them. And then they had a BMW, so I like how they kind of explained a little in that sense. Now this was discovered the first kill incident, and I'm looking like, why is Aaron following these people? Because they bumped into him. Now it would have been he would have been better off just fighting them to keep it moving, or just say, hey bro, watch your step. But he followed him out of the nightclub and began to fire shots at him with a revolver. 5 shots, right? He killed him. And that's when he told his boy Alexander, like, bro, we gotta go and everything. So they went, and I think a few months later, he still went to practice, still went to his facilities, and he started becoming paranoid. And he was intentionally trying to kill Alexander because that was a witness. And he felt like, why is these police officers following me? He felt like, they went to a nightclub in Miami. It was two people in law enforcement that was just following him. And he just felt like, okay, what's going on? Like, are you telling on me? So I had a feeling that he was going to take him out so he can, cover up his mess. And man, it just started getting super crazy because, he put in his family in jeopardy. He had a daughter, man. I mean, he just wasn't really thinking correctly. And the fact that after that murder, a month later, I believe, he signed a 5-year deal for $40 million with the New England Patriots. $40 million, man. And this before they started an initial investigation. And you shot Alexander, but he ended up miraculously surviving and testifying in court about these convictions before he actually killed Odin Lloyd. But Odin Lloyd was just, I think he was a former teammate. He used to play football with some people, and these people, they were from Cape Verde. The two people that he killed, they weren't even high authority. They wasn't even people that was just like gangs, or I thought it was like gang affiliated back in the day or whatever. I'm like, what drove you to go out here and just kill innocent people? I mean, at the end of the day, they were just like chilling and minding their own business. That was the crazy thing. And then he didn't even get convicted of that. Now he did have an appeal. He was always guilty for the Odin Lloyd situation. I think the whole world knew that, and that's when he was in that correction center facility in Massachusetts, Lancaster, Massachusetts. And because he didn't get convicted of the two murder crimes, he tried to do an appeal. And theories say that it was a law in Massachusetts that if you have an appeal or whatever, and that individual, the murderer, killed themselves doing a criminal appeal, all like charges will be dropped. and it will be expunged from their record. So therefore, their money and inheritance will actually be given to their loved ones, their spouse. And I think that's pretty much what his original intentions. But I want to challenge this too here on Netflix, is that I think that it could have been the two family members that was in court and they didn't get justice. They probably either they put a hit out on him, or he just got murdered in prison. Because I don't think he would take the time out of his day to go out here and hang himself. But because he was really ecstatic and happy, all he talked about was his daughter. Now they did go into detail about his mother, how Tanya, that his mom, man, after months that his dad passed, she ended up doing incest, like dating as her cousin's husband. And he was like, this is when he was making this transition to go to college. That's when he started playing at the University of Florida. So it was a big disconnect there. He was like, Mom, what are you doing? My dad passed, who was guiding me. He's gone. Basically teach mom to be a man, and you're gonna sit up here and I'm still grieving, and you're gonna date, our cousin's husband. Like, what is wrong with you? So that's when he started losing a lot of respect for her, and he just started focusing more on his football, put all that aggravation and aggression onto the football field. That's exactly what he was doing. So technically football, ironically, it kind of saved his life a little bit, but it was just really sad that people was thinking like, you made it, you got a mansion, you got a pool, you got a wife, daughter, whatever, and this is pretty much the American dream people love to have. And you going to practice, working out on the field, doing everything you can, you in the Super Bowl winning team, and you out here murdering people. So yeah, of course the Patriots had to cut him when stuff was getting out of hand. They interviewed Robert Kraft, who was the owner of the New England Patriots. This is a key witness in here on Netflix brought out. So Robert Kraft, he was he was talking to him a lot. He knew he was going to the nightclubs and all these things. So that's why they felt like he had a different connection. But of course Robert Kraft was pretty much very brief on this. But I just didn't like how the series was really just blaming on his sexuality. That it's sad that he was sexually abused. If you think about it, statistically speaking, people that are lesbians and bisexuals and gay in general, is just most part they didn't wake up me gay. It was an experience. Either they were sexually abused by a family member. Most of them are, compared to strangers, sexually abused. They were let down by men, as far as like lesbians and everything, and they just have a negative perspective of natural relationships. And so therefore they in the state of the art of confusion. And I disagree with the attorney that was defending Aaron Hernandez, saying that, well, yeah, it's a possibility that you're born gay. I mean, so he was saying that Aaron Hernandez is bisexual, whatever, and if he actually would have came out the closet a little bit earlier, he would not make these rational decisions. Your sexuality has nothing to do with you murdering people. Heterosexuals murder people all the time. Gay people can do it too. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, that's a choice that you done. Yeah, it's wrong, but it's a choice. I don't think that if he would have just came out the closet more he would have been very more accepted in society. He wouldn't be killing people. He was already accepted. He was a tight end. People was buying his jerseys. People was cheering him on each and every single Sunday. Won a Super Bowl. So I don't buy in that mess that you decided to murder people. Now the CTE, that's, like I stated before, that can play a little effect, but you can't blame the NFL and CTE and your stress at work. Well, I'm stressed out at work in this corporation, so I'm going here and kill people. I mean, you got people work 9 to 5s all the time, hate their jobs, but it doesn't give them the right to kill innocent people because of their hatred of their choice of work. So I completely disagree with that, but that's the little argument that the defense attorney used in this situation. That's when he wasn't acquitted for the 2 convictions there, the 2 murders, the double homicide. But but they really analyzed in detail the footprints, the the gun, the murder car itself, and how he had it was linked to different connections of people. And he was saying, like, Ortiz, I think it was some other people that was supposed to be a part of it, and he was hanging out with them. I mean, if you hanging out, why are you hanging out with murderers? If they're so dangerous, you want to be hanging with them, you want to have your baby with them, you would not, you just want to be associated with them. That's just not want to be smart. And then you have everything with you. You would actually have a restraining order, or you stay far distance. Aaron Hernandez decided to kill these people. Now, he did have a maybe a peculiar background history, in his childhood, but I just can't sit up here and feel sorry for him because of the decisions that he made. Now, It's sad and it's embarrassing, because you put your family in a position that they're gonna be out with a father. And now, of course, if she have another husband, she's dating someone else, but that daughter's gonna grow up like, damn, my dad died and because he killed someone, or he was murdered in prison, or he killed himself. It's not a really good thing. It's a really a vicious cycle. But this is pretty much what this documentary was really about. I believe it had like 3 episodes in it. I advise anyone to check it out if you just want to gain more information. But I just needed some answers, and I just thought that Netflix did a decent job with this. But I mean, just trying to push the narrative of his sexuality has a lot to do with his decisions. I just can't. I can't agree with that. And I like how they had Christopher Borland, who was a rookie for the San Francisco 49ers, and he ended up retiring his rookie year because he was talking about brain health. He wanted to protect his head, and they really enforced him to the CTE. And Robert Kraft was like, I play football, my grandsons play, my kids play, and if you're a mother out there listening and watching this, you should encourage your family members to play football as well. And Roger Goodell interviewed him saying it was very safer, but at the end of the day, I mean, that does take a toll on you. That's something that you develop years to play. I'm pretty sure they know what they was gonna get themselves into. They had this one individual who was a gay player for the Kansas City Chiefs. Forgot his name. He was like he was a linebacker, and he thought he was. This is why I know this is a state of confusion. He was like, well, I have no point in life, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna just play until I can't play anymore, and then kill myself. So that it's wrong for you to like the same sex. You get what I'm saying? Because why would you? He said he had a hard time opening to his family members. If it's the truth, you're gonna speak it regardless. If it's something good, I got all A's in my report card. Oh my God, here you go. I got all A's. Like, you say that within a minute instead of saying, yeah, you got all A's. You're like, it's something I gotta tell y'all. Because deep inside subconsciously, this is not the right way to go. So I can't. I'm not. This is not a gay bashing thing, but it's just. I just hate that when people use. You can't just use your sexuality just based on decisions that you make, and that's hurting innocent people. Because of how you grew up and how you perceive things, and that's the only drop in the ball of Netflix I disagree with in this huge documentary here. But Aaron Hernandez is sad. I don't know. They say he was reading this verse, John 3:16 in the Bible. He had a pierce in his forehead before he killed himself. So I don't know if he got his soul right before he died. It's up to God, at this moment to judge him. But man, it's let's see. So okay, but yeah, it's a sad situation here. But this documentary overall, man, I mean, it's decent information. I feel like they wrote books about this. I think you'll get more information on the internet. But if you want to go in here and just just spend some time a little bit and see and get some visuals, then you go ahead, and I advise you to go ahead and watch this here. But I'm not going to rate this documentary, but I just really kind of find it interesting, man. At least I know a general understanding. But it is kind of sad that, his family structure was broken and he just couldn't recover from it. And it simply explains that, man. He was real close with his dad, and his brother was openly gay and everything. And he didn't know how to. He was kind of disowned from his family because his dad wasn't playing that, and he didn't know what to do. So his brother was sympathizing with him and all these things, man, growing up. And then he talked about how in the story how you play hide and go seek and coming out the closet and all these things, man. And he had to just say like, hey, this is what I am. Like so it had a different direction, like in each and every single point here in this Netflix series. So it was a little bit out of order, but it's sad. I just wish that he should have been convicted for those 2 crimes. I mean, it was just video surveillance of him just going inside his house after he killed. I think Illinois. He had like a gun inside his. He had a gun with him. I'm looking like, bro, like and you still going to nightclubs and and just doing these crazy things, man. I mean, it's wrong in so many levels. So he just got caught up, man. But man, it's crazy, man. If he didn't kill himself, I think he probably would have had a lighter sentence anyway. He probably would just been now getting out of prison, I think. But we'll see, man. But it was just a crazy thing, man. They said this is rarely happens in Bristol, Bristol, Connecticut, man. But rest in peace and condolences to the people, man. I know some people are still grieving for this. That lost their lives, like Odin Lloyd's family, and I think the 2 individuals, forget their name, that was from Cape Verde. They died, in that nightclub because of Aaron Hernandez. I mean, it's really vicious too, because You had no general motive and reason to kill these people. You just looked at them and you didn't like something about them. You chased them down and killed them, man. So his mindset, it's really stupid to me, man. You know, even if you didn't make it in life, you don't do these things to people. So that's just another form of evil and wickedness, and you can't blame your history based on your decisions. So that's the message I want to give on to Netflix. It's all a choice, and it goes to show you if you don't have God with you, then yeah, you're gonna be in a state of utter confusion, man, in this world, and you're gonna start getting it, give it into the world. Remember, we're in this world, but we're not of the world, right? You know, so anything that you love towards the world is hatred towards your God. You know, so accept Christ, you'll be transformed within yourself and then the Holy Spirit, and that's the only way that can guide you. And I just think that he didn't have that at all. I mean, no, regardless of how successful he was, money wise, and all these things, but it's Satan still was able to creep in into his life and to take over and outlook. So this your boy Young Lee Jr. here. You guys continue to like, comment, subscribe. That's my little 2 cents on this, man. Just heartfelt documentary here, but it's just sometimes it gives a reason when people feel like they don't have nothing going for themselves, and they're like, hey, let me just do something crazy and have people make money off of me, and at least I'll be remembered. I don't know if that was his general motive. Like when people do all these mass shootings, shooting in churches, I want to be remembered for doing something crazy. Because if you just do something normal, working a 9 to 5, preaching, or you know, helping somebody, helping your neighbor out, kind of just doing what normal society wants you to do. I mean, unless you're famous, for the most part, you're not going to even get a story written on you or written about you. Who cares? And I just think that it was just a seek of attention, a seek of just being known, even though he was well known on his talents on the football field. But he substituted that with darkness. It's crazy. It's something that you can really learn from. But I don't want to draw this too long, man. I just please take some time to watch this video, share this video. But this is how I felt about that documentary. I'm out. Deuces.